The history of Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, is made up of a rich cultural tapestry. Modern-day Nigeria is a multi-religious and multi-ethnic entity. But in the early republic, the country's unique identity came under threat. Through Nigeria's political history, many actors played pivotal roles. However, the story of Nigeria cannot be told without talking about General Yakubu Gowon.
The so-called rising sun of Biafra is set forever.
General Yakubu Gowon played a great role in keeping the nation together in some of its most fragile years. As General Gowon marks 90 years of age, we journey back to where it all began, uncovering the story of a leader whose faith, resilience, and vision shaped the destiny of Nigeria. Born on October 19, 1934 in Kanke, present-day Plateau State, Gowon was raised in Wusasa, Zaria, Kaduna State, following his father's migration from Plateau.
So history tells me that they came to Wusasa in 1939. In 1939, and then they have lived there ever since.
It was here that General Gowon's father, late Yohana Gowon, served and committed himself to the propagation of Christian beliefs. He instilled in his children a deep sense of faith and responsibility.
This is St. Bartholomew's Cathedral, Wusasa. The mud building here, it has been renovated. This is a place that everything began. It's very historic in Hausa land. And this was the church the family worshipped. And I would say with every confidence that yes, the family worshipped here. And particularly, we're talking about the second Wusasa, late Baba Didi Gowon. He was very, very instrumental in this very church. And as a young person growing in Wusasa, we were very positive that he was influenced by this. And we saw this manifesting in his life. We saw humility. We saw servant leadership. We saw integrity. We saw the fear of God. These are the things that we see or we saw in the life of the missionaries. And when we talk about the missionaries, we are talking about the church. So sincerely, General Yakubu Gowon's life was impacted by the church positively through the activities of the missionaries. And wherever we find him, we see him manifesting this very lifestyle that he learned: humility, integrity, commitment, simplicity, and so on and so forth.
General Yakubu Gowon had his primary education here at the St. Bartholomew School, Zaria. The traditional ruler in Wusasa recounts experiences while growing.
I started knowing him properly in the very early 60s when he graduated from Ghana and came back to Wusasa on holiday. I remember very clearly how he used to wake us up. Every son of Wusasa of my age then, was about 12 years old, and he would wake everybody in the morning to go for jogging. And that really built a lot of us. And he was a disciplinarian. Just as much as he loved us, but he never accepted any nonsense from anybody. When he came back from Sandhurst, he bought boxing gloves. I think he bought about 6 pairs of boxing gloves and started teaching us boxing. And I can remember the first time I entered the ring, I got my nose bashed and I was bleeding. And I remember he said, "Isia, don't give up. Even though you are bleeding, don't give up. You must come out and also take your revenge." And so that was how he built our motivation in sports.
From quite early in life, Gowon had an exceptional character, even though he came from a family of modest means. He joined the army in 1954. On his 21st birthday in 1955, he became a second lieutenant. With sponsorship from the colonial government, he attended the best military institutions in the world. He went to the Royal Military Academy in Sandhurst and Staff College, Camberley, both in the United Kingdom. After Nigeria gained independence in 1960, Gowon, a young military officer, rapidly rose through the ranks. His leadership qualities were undeniable, and by 1966, in the midst of political instability, he was appointed head of state at just 31 years old. It was a time of deep division, civil war, and uncertainty.
At the time he became the head of state, Nigeria was at a brink, whether to break up or to continue. And there was, potential danger in the horizon. And when he took up as the head of state, we know, of course, the civil war erupted, but he was able to, reunite the country. Yes, of course, through the civil war. But after the civil war, he was able to assuage the anger, the fear, and he was also been able to mobilize people to identify with the nation instead of their sub-regions. His establishment of the NYSC, the Unity School, and numerous projects that linked all parts of the country. These are some of his major legacies. So virtually, General Gowon is synonymous with Nigeria's unity. He's a uniter, so to say.
The late 1960s marked one of Nigeria's darkest periods, the era of the Nigerian Civil War, or the Biafran War. Ethnic divisions threatened to tear the nation apart, with the eastern region seeking secession. Yakubu Gowon faced the monumental challenge of preserving Nigeria's history. With ethnic tensions at all-time high, Gowon's calm and steady demeanor will prove essential. After nearly 3 years of conflict, in 1970, Biafran forces were finally routed in a series of engagements in late December 1969 and early January 1970. Ojukwu fled to Côte d'Ivoire, and the remaining Biafran officers surrendered to the federal government on January 15, 1970.
The first criticism that people threw at him is if you look at the number of the people that suffered or died during the Civil War, people say that it would have been done differently. About 1 million people are said to have died during the Civil War, most especially from the Biafran side. Some through hunger when the federal government decided to blockade the southeast region that tried to secede. People say that that was akin to a genocide. And also, after the war, people make mention of lavish spending that Nigeria started during his era with the oil boom. And the cement scandal, for instance, signifies this. Nigeria was just, instead of laying foundation for critical infrastructure, Nigerians were just importing. The Udoji salary, it was said to have, it's a bumper salary increase that was not managed well, led to inflation, led to mass foreign consumption. But it's normal for any man to hold office, to have his strength and to have his weak side. Overall, if you look at what he has achieved, I think they have overshadowed his weaknesses, so to say.
Gowon's philosophy, no victor, no vanquish, set the tone for reconciliation, fostering peace rather than punishment. His leadership helped rebuild a country deeply scarred by civil strife.
I think he understood that despite being a military man, despite he being on the winning side, you need to also bring on board other people, you know, that fear of domination that led to the war. You need to dismantle that. And it is a mantra that worked very well to reintegrate people from the Southeast into the mainstream, to tell them that, look, we fought this war, we are brothers and sisters because we disagree. But now that the war is over, we need to come back to the previous template of being our brothers' keepers. And it was needed at that time to heal wounds, to reconcile. And it was, of course, followed by the 3 R's, which also helped in bringing back development in areas that were destroyed, and as well as other parts of the country. So that served a lot of purpose, and it was needed at that time.
Gowon's post-war approach was revolutionary. He focused on reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reintegration. His efforts in restoring unity and trust between regions were pivotal in keeping Nigeria intact after such a divisive war. After 9 years in power, General Gowon's tenure came to an end. While attending the OAU summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia in 1975, he was overthrown by military officers. Colonel Nanvan Garba, commander of the Elite Guards Brigade, announced that he and his colleagues decided to oust General Gowon. Eventually, a new military leader was installed, the late General Murtala Muhammad.
Fellow Nigerians,
Following his exodus from power, General Gowon lived in exile in Britain. By 1983, he earned a PhD and eventually became a professor of political science at the University of Jos.
I can assure you, I never thought of anything at that time. Always that it is Nigeria, it is a question of unity. That you ask a question, why am I so much determined about Nigerian unity, etc. Now, because since I was born and since I came to know Nigeria and Nigerian people, of course, I grew with all Nigerians in the little village, Musasa village, that we are some of our teachers and the community in the whole area is all Nigerians. There are it's not only, although it is in Hausa, yes, a Muslim, but we honestly know each other. We either attend church together or if you're a Muslim, in fact, you go to mosque together, whether you're a Hausa, Yoruba, or whatever it is. So, honestly, to me, that is what I know happened. Question of politics, no, I think it is not. Yes, those who are interested in politics, can relate, to that, but ours is, that at least as a young person, either working hard with your studies or later on in your profession, working hard in whatever profession, the essence of the unity of this country, certainly it is something that I cannot. And honestly, this is the reason, as I've said, the reason for, unfortunately, for the civil war. In the end, it was because any part of the country that I wanted to break away from the rest, and those that also that say wanted to remain as part of the unity. And I've always said, if there is no secession, there would be an unbreakup. There would be question of civil war.
Now at 90, General Yakubu Gowon stands as a symbol of national unity. His life's work has been dedicated to keeping Nigeria together through war, peace, and progress. He's celebrated as one of the nation's most enduring leaders, a man who in his youth had a nation in his hands and in his elder years continued to inspire future generations.
Beyond the nation, General Gowon also left a very wonderful mark of integration on the West African region because he actively participated, initiated, in fact, the founder of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. And he's been very close to the ECOWAS family all these years. And so we celebrate him. We celebrate him because also of being a person and a leader of excellence, a leader of honesty, a leader of integrity, a leader who loves the Federal Republic of Nigeria. General Gowon is a patriot to the core. He loves Nigeria tremendously.
We wish the general a blissful birthday. This is 90. We pray for him that God will give him good health. At 90, he can still go to church. At 90, he can still walk. So we wish him good health, long life, and this legacy that has endeared him to Nigerians and to the entire world. We pray that he will continue to live this legacy.
On the global stage, Gowon was a voice for Africa. He played a key role in the formation of the Economic Community of West African States, fostering cooperation and economic integration across the regions. His diplomacy extends beyond regional borders, advocating for peace and collaboration across the continent.